question on. Hello, family. How you doing? Prayerfully, all is well. Definitely want to give a shout out to all of you all that have made it today. All right, for this special conversation that I think is going to be greatly impactful today. Yeah, y'all in the room with the one and only. All right, Cordero D. Beard for lunch on me. So y'all that are in the chat who are familiar with the Lunch on Me platform, you already know what to do. Grab your chair, pull up to the table, get your utensils together because today lunch is gonna be on me. All right, we are serving food for thought. conversations for purpose-driven people. All right. I'll also be providing literal lunch for all of you all that has the ability, all right, to get active in the chat. All right. So while you are coming on, I just want to take a moment to give a shout out or a check in just to see who's at the table today. Rep your city, your state, your neighborhood, and also your community. All right. I see so far, Sister Millie from Wiggins is in the chat. How you doing? Michael, I'm gonna call your whole name. Dantrell Hunter is in the chat. Is in the chat today. Also, Brother Darren Moffitt from Macon, Georgia, is in the chat today. And I think I saw my wife, the lady, is in the chat today. All right, so thank you all for joining in. The lady, she's out there getting that money on y'all. All right, and so, and she must have snuck away to get on the chat. So I love you. Y'all do me a favor and put the clapping hands or the hearts on the screen for the lady. All right, I see Minister Dunn. How you doing? Welcome to Lunch on Me. All right, Hattiesburg is in the building. Sister Kayana Jasper says that we are here. All right, and so listen, I want to tell y'all that Lunch on Me space exists not for hype, all right, not for performance, just clarity conversations for purpose-driven people trying to understand, all right, what God is doing sometimes in seasons that we don't always understand, all right? And so our seasons that don't always make sense, all right? So that's what we are here. That's why we are here. And that's what's going on today on Lunch on Me, all right? Shout out to Jacovia Williams. Blessings to you. I was just in Georgia, all right? And we had a great time, and I look forward to coming back that way. Y'all, we in the building. Lunch on Me. Let's go head on and get into our clarity question for today. Of course, whenever it is that you want to start a conversation, if you're in the room, you want to break the ice, there's something that's called icebreakers, all right? But because this is a clarity platform, we don't have icebreakers. We do, but we call them clarity questions, all right? So this is a moment for y'all to get active in the chat. I got a clarity question for you all today. Have you ever gone through a season where you no longer recognize the version of yourself that you used to be, all right? If that's you, you went through a season that you said, you know what, you look in the mirror, you don't necessarily recognize who you are, all right, or the version of yourself that you used to be. If that is you, I want you to put in the chat, I am evolving, all right? Y'all put that in the chat, all right? Tessa Poole, how you doing? She showed up to service at Greater Antioch. My great friend and brother, Pastor Chester Hopkins Jr. invited me to come to Pentecost, all right, over at Greater Antioch. And we had an amazing time, all right? If you are an individual that ever gone through a season where you no longer recognize the version of yourself that you used to be, do me a favor and put it in the chat. I am evolving, all right? I'm evolving. I want to tell you that evolution as it relates to our state and our course and where we are in life could be a scary season, could be a very difficult transition, all right? I told someone in our group life with the men, sometimes the price of your new life is your old one, all right? And so evolution could be a very strange place where you're not familiar. Sometimes we can find ourselves navigating seasons in the dark, and sometimes darkness can be real scary. Yeah, it can be scary. But I want to help somebody with that, you know, as it relates to where you are and what some of us believe that we have been, all right? And so I asked the question before I jumped on here, Is there anybody that's ever been afraid of the dark? All right. And so we're going to jump into that conversation, and we're going to navigate this thing together. All right. So we're really talking about evolution today. And so, of course, you all know I'll always be an individual that's willing to go first. I definitely want to be transparent at where I believe I am, where I believe I'm going, and where I've been. And so I just want to be the first one to tell you honestly, one thing I found out or discovered about evolution is that evolution, the hardest part of evolving, my God, is understanding that sometimes you outgrow environments, places, circumstances, before you fully understand who you're becoming. All right. Some of you have been comfortable in a place, comfortable in a space, comfortable in a season, comfortable in a circle. But I want to let you know the testament of the fact that you're growing, the testament of the fact that you're evolving is sometimes you'll outgrow circumstances, circles. Sometimes you'll outgrow even environments. And that's one of the hardest things to do, or hardest parts about evolution is sometimes you outgrow stuff, all right? Do me a favor if you're in here and you can attest that you're in a season where you've never been before, but you feel like God is calling you to something greater, someone greater. I want you to do me a favor and put the ones in the chat. Yeah, do me a favor, put the ones in the chat. And I'm going to tell you something. Growth, whenever you're growing and whenever it is that you're evolving, growth becomes uncomfortable, all right? Because God starts stretching you beyond the boundaries, watch this, of your previous identity, all right? I want to help somebody that feel as if you've hit a glass ceiling in your life. Perhaps the reason why you feel the way that you do is because you're growing, all right? Possibly the reason why you feel the way that you do quite naturally is because you can, my God, be in a space and time or a season where God is stretching you to evolve, all right? And evolution is a process that everybody don't make it through. But I came to tell somebody on live today that you're going to make it, all right? On this stream, listen, I want to tell you that I am an individual right now that's learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Maybe God is stretching you to position you to evolve, all right? That's what we've got to do, all right? I see the ones in the chat, all right? Thank you for putting it in the chat, all right? This is our main conversation that we're getting ready to navigate through. For those of you all that feel as if you've been in a place of darkness and you don't know what to do, all right? I'm coming on here to help you and to tell you that if you're in a dark place, you might be in the right place, all right? If you're in a dark place right now, that may be the room where God is going to groom you in, all right? I want to remind somebody that God does his best work in the dark, all right? I don't know if y'all feeling me today, but I came to help somebody to tell you that God does his best work in the dark, all right? So we've got to be individuals in this season that has the God-given grace to navigate through these environments. A lot of people fear the darkness, all right? And the reason why a lot of people fear darkness is because darkness limits our visibility. Have you ever been an individual that felt like God was calling you to do something? Have you ever been an individual that felt like God was pulling on you to do something or become something that you had not even necessarily even seen as of yet? Been in a place of evolution, but also found yourself in a place of darkness and you couldn't see like you would normally see. Anybody ever had an expectation and knew God was going to move for you, knew God was getting ready to take you somewhere, but you couldn't see your next steps? I want to tell you, sometimes God will place you in a place of darkness, not so that you can die, but so that you can be developed. All right? Do me a favor. Blessings to my brother, Apostle Marlon D. Thomas. Blessings to Coach Shanae. Yeah, y'all put that in the chat. If I'm helping somebody, I want you to let somebody know, don't die in darkness. Develop in it. All right? God did not place you in a season of darkness to die. Perhaps you're there to be developed. All right? I need somebody to put your weight on that thing. All right? Sometimes God would allow you to go through dark seasons, not so that you could die, but so that you can be developed. I told you that God does his best work sometimes in the dark. And what I want to do is remind somebody that wonderful things happen in the dark. All right. I wish I had a witness on this live stream today. Wonderful things happen in the dark. First of all, we understand that seeds grow in the darkness. Some of you don't even realize that where you are or where you've been, a season in your life that you count to be a season of detriment could have been your greatest season for development. All right. Seeds grow in the dark. Not only does seeds grow in the dark, babies develop in the dark. All right. I want to tell you, as it relates to the gospel, before Jesus could be resurrected, he had to go to a dark place. All right. They threw him in a barber tomb. I don't want to preach to y'all on a Wednesday, but I want to give somebody a different perspective on some seasons that you've encountered in your life that you could not necessarily make sense of. The reason why some of you may have felt like you've been in a place of isolation, may have felt like you've been in a season of darkness, could it be that God is causing you to be developed in the darkness so that you can evolve into who God is making you to be? All right. Some of y'all been sitting in one season too long. Some of y'all has been comfortable, too comfortable with an expired version of yourself. Listen, there's some places I can't even go no more because there's no space for me anymore, because evolution has stretched me beyond my comfort zone. And I want to tell you something. Whenever it is that God places you constantly in a place of discomfort, could it be because he's trying to grow you? Do you hear me? Some of you don't even fit in no more. All right? Some of you can't even find a place of comfort right now. It is because God is calling you to be and to do something greater than who you've currently been. I want to talk to somebody on this live stream today who is willing to step out on faith, even if it lands you in the dark. I really want to help somebody. Sometimes God himself will cause you and allow you to enter in seasons where there's a low clarity. Have anybody been in a season where you needed direction? Have anybody ever been in a season where you needed God to guide you and you couldn't even lean on a person? You couldn't even call a person. In fact, about it, you was in such a unique space, you didn't even know who to call. Have anybody ever been right there? If that's you, go ahead and put the ones in the chat. Sometimes God would allow you to enter into seasons where there is low clarity so your dependency on him can increase. Normally, you would call your mentor. Normally, you would call somebody that you're familiar with to be able to gain advice from. But you in a season right now to where you seem like you feel like you ain't never been here before. All right. So you don't even know who to call. You don't even know who to reach out to And when you do talk to somebody, it's a hit and miss because sometimes God don't want you at times to lean on your prayer partner. Sometimes God will put you in seasons of low visibility so your dependency can be on him. All right? What if I told you they ain't got your answers? I wish I had somebody on here that could attest with me in this season. Sometimes they ain't got your answers. Sometimes your answer is coming from God, and God will put you in a place where you can't even call your best friend. You can't even call the person you would normally lean on because God wants your dependency in the dark to be on him. All right? Sometimes God will put you in seasons of low visibility, dark seasons, just so you can refocus and become recalibrated to his voice. All right? Whenever you're in seasons of darkness, I took some notes and I want to give them to y'all. Sometimes whenever you're in a season of darkness, you got to depend on him. Your dependency solely has to be on him because when you can no longer rely on routine, familiarity, comfort zones, watch this, old identities, you're forced to discover who you really are or who you are becoming. All right? I want somebody, I want to let somebody know that you got to give yourself grace to grow. You thought you was tripping, but you was growing. You thought you were dying, but you were developing in the dark. God does his best work in the dark. So do me a favor, y'all. Don't die in darkness. Become developed in it. All right? You got to embrace some of these seasons of development. All right? And I'm hurrying to a close. I didn't come here for a long time. I just came for a good time. I'm hurrying to a close. Carla Alexander, how you doing? She said, God and God alone. We got to lean on him. All right. That's right. My brother, Akaris Carter, Pastor Carter, says that you have to give yourself grace to grow. All right. That's right. Indeed, you got to do that. And I want to continue to talk to you about evolution. One of the most popular pictures of evolution, I'm getting ready to go somewhere, is found in the butterfly. One of the most popular pictures of evolution, we see that in the butterfly. I want to tell you something and talk to you about evolution. Evolution is not just an external thing. Evolution is an internal thing, all right? Whenever we see a caterpillar, he has to go into a dark place. And that dark place called the cocoon that the caterpillar goes in, he does not go in that darkness to die. He enters the darkness to be developed, all right? Because evolution, I want to tell you, is so different at times. It can make you feel like you're going crazy. Evolution could be so different at times until it causes you seasons of discomfort. And I want to tell you that it does not just, when we look at the caterpillar and the butterfly, it's not just an external thing, it's an internal thing. Not only does the caterpillar changes its appearance after metamorphosis, it also has to have the ability to change its mind. God is not just trying to change your physical appearance. God will put you in darkness to change your mind. I remember being in Montgomery, Alabama, eating at a soul food place. And I was there with my dad. And he was there with a bishop, and we were there for revival. And while we were there, we went to this place, this eating place. They had some really good oxtails. I still remember it to this day. You know, and two preachers are talking, two kings are talking. sometimes I will find myself respectfully in a place to where, I want them to have their moment, whatever they're talking about. That's their business, it ain't mine. So I sat at the other end of the table. And while they were talking to one another, God started talking to me. And God asked me a question that puzzled me. And God asked me this. He asked me, hey, what do you know? And when God asked me the question, what do I know? Out of arrogance and pride, my God, I tried to answer God's question by recanting revelations, some of the greatest revelations I thought I had that he gave to me, all right? And so when God asked me what I know, at first I was a little taken back, but then the pride in me tried to give God, hey, this is what I know based on what I believe you told me. And I started giving God some revelations that God gave me that I stood on and I began to live by. And God ended up coming back to me and saying, you know what? You don't know nothing. My God. That's what God told me. You don't know nothing. And I humbled myself whenever I heard the voice of God. And God told me this. He said, what if I told you that 90% of what you think you know won't even be relevant in your next chapter in your book of life? Blew my mind, all right? So what I had to do then is give myself a room to grow and expand because God was telling me in so many words that sometimes you got to escape old paradigms to reposition yourself for what God is getting ready to do in you that's new, all right? Can I tell you something about that butterfly? Not only did he go in that caterpillar didn't just go in that cocoon just to change his appearance, he also had to have the ability to change his mind, all right? Can I tell you something about transformation? Can I tell you something about evolution? Not only will evolution change your appearance, but evolution has the capability of even changing your identity. Some of you are so married to an outdated, expired version of yourself that you can't grasp who God is making you to be. Sometimes you got to be willing to divorce an outdated version of yourself in order to position yourself for who God is making you to become. I want to help somebody. And sometimes you got to come out of rooms where you are the teacher and get into other rooms where you are the student, all right? Because if you hit a glass ceiling, if you hit a lid, the only way you're going to be able to get out of there, you're going to have to break that jar. And some of us keep company with people that are satisfied with the old version of ourselves. So we surround ourselves at times with circles that's restricting our ability to become. Do you hear me? Sometimes you got to be willing to follow God in the dark, not for you to die, but for you to be developed. Sometimes I told you that the price of your new identity is your old one. Sometimes the price, my God, of your new life is your old life. And some of us are too familiar with who we think we are to walk on faith, to walk out on faith, to become who he is developing us to be. Do you hear me? I'm trying to help somebody. Trying to help somebody. Trying to help somebody. In my research, and then I'm leaving, I got 60 seconds. In my research as it relates to evolution, the caterpillar and the butterfly, what if I told you that one of the most significant changes in evolution is not just your appearance, but it's your appetite? You will always know when you're evolving, when your appetite changes. Caterpillars, they only eat leaves that fall from the trees that hit the ground that they have access to eat from. That's the diet. The diet of a caterpillar are fallen leaves. Leaves that has fallen off of the tree. That hits the ground. That's the appetite of the caterpillar. But after metamorphosis and after evolution, after escaping or being released from the dark place and becoming the new alias, the new identity in evolution from the caterpillar to the butterfly, they don't even eat the same thing no more. While the caterpillar eat leaves, the butterfly drinks nectar that comes from certain flowers. That's what they feed off of. Do you hear me? I want to tell you that transformation is deeper than appearance. When a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it doesn't simply gain wings. It loses its ability to crawl the way it once did. Its entire nature changes. God is changing your nature. Do you hear me? And I believe many people are grieving old versions of themselves while simultaneously trying to embrace who they are becoming. But you got to get rid of old mindsets, sometimes old cycles, sometimes old mechanism, sometimes old limitations, all right? And change your appetite. Give yourself grace to grow. Do you hear me? I'm trying to tell somebody that the season that you're in right now is called growth. You know that God has put you in a place of evolution. When not only does your appearance change, but your appetite does too. I can't even hear that stuff no more. I can't even go over that no more. I can't even do that no more. The reason being is because you're evolving. God is giving you grace to grow. I come to tell you that sometimes in order to evolve, God will lead you into a dark place with low visibility so you can't lean and depend on nobody except for him at times. God will at times lead you into a place of darkness, not so that you can die, but so that you can be developed. God is developing you, and I see and sense that your appetite is changing. All right. I want to tell somebody that if you're in a dark place right now, it could be the reason why you're there in darkness is so that God could cause you to be developed. God does, I believe, his best work in the dark. All right. Thank y'all for spending your lunch hour with me. I have a few announcements. While I am doing my announcements, I need somebody to put the drum rolls in the chat. Drum rolls in the chat. I'm getting ready to pick somebody that I'll be gifting lunch to today. All right. So do me a favor. All right. Drop your Cash App in the chat. All right. Drop your Cash App handles in the chat. I just came on here to help somebody to let you know you ain't got to be afraid of the dark. That's the classroom that God is putting you in this season. Not for you to die, but for you to develop, because God does his best work in the dark. All right. Listen, if you felt as if that something that was said today helped you in a great way, do me a favor. Don't be afraid to gift the platform. All right. In your gifting the platform, you are also helping to spread this word, also helping to feed people, not just in thought with these conversations, but also naturally. All right. If you went to a restaurant and you enjoyed the service there, the food and the experience as well, I believe you should do the good thing and tip the table. All right. I've been your waiter today, and I appreciate you for allowing me to wait on you. And so I want to give you an opportunity, all right, to gift the platform. And if you're gifting the platform here live, I'll be certain to make known our appreciation for your gifts. All right, you can do so even now. All right, I see the Cash App handles coming up on the chat. All right, a few announcements. I want to let you know that if you're anywhere near the Hattiesburg, Petal area, anywhere near the Forest, Lamar, Jones County area, I want to give you an opportunity to join us at DP Nation Petal tonight, all right, for our Winning on Wednesday Group Life Edition, all right. The men are meeting with me, the women are meeting with the lady, the children are meeting with Sister Farah, and so it's going to be a good time. We have a space and a place for everybody that's pulling up on us on tonight. So do me the favor, come on in the room, all right? I believe that you'll be glad that you did, all right? Also, if you're in the area on Sundays, we got something we say over here at DP Petal. We say come through Sundays at 2. All right, come through Sundays at 2. I'm getting off, I'm logging off, but I want to appreciate you for joining me today for Lunch on Me. As I have said, as I have stated, I am a man of my word, and I am thankful for all of the people, y'all, that came on and shared and got active in the chat. And today, our Lunch on Me is getting ready to go to Sister Cecilia Dowell, all right? We call her Sister CC. Sister CC, today I want to tell you thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us. Hey, your lunch, Sister CC, today is going to be on me. All right, do me a favor. I want you to keep up with this platform. It is my desire to be here every Wednesday at 12. Sometimes my schedule is different and does not allow me to do so. However, as much as possible, it is my desire to be here every Wednesday, all right, to share my lunch hour with you, all right, and for you to come on and share it with me. I love you. I appreciate you, family. Until next Wednesday, I want to tell you, have a great day. You ain't got to be afraid of the dark no more, because God does his best work in the dark. I love you, family, and I'll see you soon.
Me.